as discussed, and as you may have noticed, it's spooky season, and I wanted to take some spooky pictures, and that's when I teamed up with Tiffany and Jasmine for these, as I call them, suburban spooky or suburban horror type photos, maybe in the 90s thing, which is how the wardrobe went. So Tiffany had pulled some wardrobe because she and Jasmine actually are similar sizes in clothing. So I kind of had this base idea, and she offered some wardrobe possibilities, and I saw that, and it kind of became this kind of prep school kind of look. Maybe I was thinking like Catholic school type look, which is perfect because Catholicism and horror movies have a long history. And then Tiffany had a Bible and a book on witchcraft, and it was a humorous but interesting pairing. So she had this window, and the light was actually coming through it really well, and I didn't want to add much flash to it because flash, as great as it is, can also slow down a shoot. I kind of looked and played off the light and saw this corner of the bed.
You look like you're about to go to your church service.
And envisioned something that I remember a lot from growing up is just sitting on the corner of a bed with a friend or a sibling. And it looked like late afternoon, kind of like these girls had gotten out of school and they were kind of chilling out, and they kind of get into this discussion about the occult. I had this star filter, soft focus type filter on the lens, and it gave just a little bit of haze. But also what's cool is Tiffany had these string Edison lights, and because it hit the star filter, it creates the little cross beams. And you can actually control how many star points there are depending on the number of lines across the filter. And I should have brought a fog machine or my canned fog or something like that. It might have been a terrible idea with candles because that canned fog is actually flammable. But I do have a fog machine, and I could have brought it. But if you have a vape pen, if you don't want to risk the lung collapse or whatever, or you have one of those cool little modified vape pens to make smoke in movies and photos and stuff, they're very handy for atmosphere, especially with that directional shaft of light coming out of the window. So that's what I was doing here. Had some fun with that. These are quick edits. I'll probably make nicer edits of these, but they'll also go in my new zine, which is Uncertain Sunlight, which you should purchase in the link in the description. It's on for the pre-order price of $15 right now, and it's going to go up to $25 because this book's going to cost a few bucks to make, but I'm going to make it as best I can totally worth it. It's going to be cool, and it's going to look great because it's going to be printed once again in Espresso Print Cafe in Tyler, Texas. I call it Arts and Witchcrafts, humorously again, but also it could be read as a self-discovery thing. If you like behind-the-scenes looks and occasional frequent philosophical ramblings, please subscribe and turn on notifications and like my videos. Comment, please. I really enjoy the comments. I really enjoy the views, and the subscriptions really help, and they mean a lot to me because this is, as I've said, my nights and weekends gig. It's a labor of love, and it's really easy, a lot easier when there's feedback, and I really appreciate it. And so I'd like to thank my patrons. Everyone on this list is awesome. I can't thank you enough. The second Print Club print actually goes out this week. So this second setup was more of the suburban horror thing. I decided to go with the homemaker type angle or the domestic woman angle, because there's a whole lot of stuff you can peel out of that onion. So I just decided to have a little callback to one of my photos of kind of a kitchen sacrifice. And that was a different topic, although as they all are, as you will learn, you can shoot different topics, and there's underlying themes throughout them that connect everything. And I personally, as an aside, have to remind myself often that I could make these overtly about this is about the terrors of domesticity in modern America, and that would get me a thesis and a show in grad school, some grad schools maybe. It would be more complex than that, of course, but it's also pretty heavy-handed and really pleases no one outside of academics. So this setup was just like a seance in the kitchen. She was you could decide if it's a sacrifice or a seance. It's kind of in the middle there, up for your interpretation, as people will just say it always is up for your interpretation, but whatever. But yeah, I had all these candles around her, and Tiffany helped set this up. She had all of this, the candles, the stones, the sage, I believe, these cool skulls, and I also could have taken out and strongly thought about taking out those cheesy orange pumpkins, but I like it because it's domestic. And you'll see in this scene where Tiffany was going to put a blanket over the window to darken the kitchen, because I wanted this to look like night, because I used tungsten white balance to throw everything blue so it looked like it was kind of later light coming through the windows. Good trick. And I realized that since she was closing the door, if she put it around the other side, she would block it, and I wouldn't have to worry about photographing that blanket in the picture. And it worked just fine. And the light was a little warm, but it didn't really matter because I was throwing everything blue, and I wanted it to look more natural anyway. So everything in here was on a tripod, as you see. I'll have to see what the settings are because I don't remember. But yeah, I like how that turned out. And that's my kitchen seance or sacrifice with the little dangling hand, the skeleton hand, and stuff like that. But also a mixture of menace with the tarot card for death in there and the stone. So I kind of like the eerie feeling of it. And I'm going to do more Halloween type portraits as this month goes, because you only get to do this once a year and have it be totally in key. Also, I'd like to add that my new zine is up for pre-order. It's called Uncertain Sunlight. I premiered the cover last week. I'm excited about it. I'm about halfway, maybe a little past halfway through designing it. It won't take me more than a couple more weeks to finish it up. I'm a designer by trade, so this isn't like new territory for me. It's on sale for a pre-order price of $15 through my website, plus shipping, of course. And it's also available for your monthly membership on the Patreon Zine Club. So don't forget to check out the Patreon, and it helps support me. But back to the zine. It'll be about 50 pages, full color, except for I'll have some black and white photos in this one. And it's going to be digest size, about the letter size, 8.5 by 11, folded in half. So I always forget that measurement, even though I use it all the time. And I've been making zines since high school, which was way too long ago. Anyway, it's full of a bunch of photos that you haven't seen yet, or probably haven't seen yet. Even if you're pretty close to me, you'll have not seen all of them. So there's going to be writing. I'm going to write a little bit in this one, but I am not opposed to other people writing. I have some other possibilities I'm working on. I'm going to probably run the pre-order until second or so week of November, because this scene's going to cost more to make, and I'll have to charge a little bit more for the post pre-order. So this is really a good time for you to get in. I appreciate you, just watching and subscribing and liking and getting notifications and all that good stuff. I also appreciate you watching, because I've been exhausted and working a lot, and it's been really hard to make these, but you make it worth, doing all this. And I hope you're getting something out of it. Let me know what else I can give you, to get out of it. And I will see you again next week. Thanks. Bye.
Is this literally the only effect? Yes. Hello? Well, I wonder if that ever goes away. Much better, if you ask me.